again YouTube, Mad Dog here, welcome back to my channel. I'm getting ready for a coffee, so how about we try some of this stuff. This is Coffee Man. For field use, this is the Pioneer version of Coffee Man, and this is sold on the internet by my good friend Dave over at Humble Trekker channel on YouTube. I'll put a link to his channel below. Please go check him out if you haven't already done so. A great fella, Englishman. I think he's moved to Sweden now, he's expat now, so fair play to him. Great channel, great content, lots of reviews, proper good reviews. He doesn't mix his beans there, you know. Really, if he's testing something out, he tests it out, you know. He's thorough. Let's put it that way. Great channel, a lot of good quality content, good camera work, knows his stuff, good knowledgeable bloke, and he has his own little shop where he sells stuff like chaga, which we don't get over here in the UK unless you live right up north, usually. You know, the fungus chaga grows on birch trees. He's got his own range of coffees. So I'm going to fire up the fire pit. It's Friday, why not? Fire pit Friday. And I'm going to get me one of these on the brew. Stay with me. Okay, like with any good fire late, I'm going to start off with the base, the bed. So I always make a raft in any conditions, whether it's wet, dry, summer, winter, fall, whatever, autumn. I always make a raft to raise your kindling or your tinder off the cold, damp bed, whether it's the ground, fire pit like this, stone, wood, whatever it may be. It's quite windy tonight and it has been quite wet. It's been raining earlier on, so always recommend building your fire on a raft, which is basically thick, dry, hard pieces of wood which will form a bed, onto which you'll put your tinder that you'll ignite. Then your kindling goes on top straight away, and then the fuel on top of that once that's established. So little tip, always raise your tinder off the bed, off the floor to start with, to establish a good fire lay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so what I've got here, just let me turn around a little ways here. What I've got here is some dry bark, the outer layer of bark off a basically a pine tree. I think it's a Norwegian spruce, something like that. And it's dead standing, so it's dry, fibrous. As you can see, it's quite dusty. I've kept this stuff dry, and basically all I'm going to do is create a bird's nest with this. I'm going to light my fire tonight, hopefully with either a ferrocerium rod or flint and iron. Not made my mind up yet. Using some of my charred natural jute twine netting, which I do sell on eBay. A little plug, yeah. And basically create a bird's nest with this, into which I'm going to put the ember that I create using that jute netting. And then I'm going to put that into the fire lay, onto the bed, and then add the tinder, the kindling rather, onto that tinder, and blow it to flame, and we'll get us coffee on. Stay with me. Yeah. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm grabbing the bark that I've just showed you, and basically I'm grabbing it in a bundle, forcing it together and just smashing it to bits against each other, like rubbing it round and round. You can see all the dust and the gnarly stuff coming off. All the heavy outer bark will want to fall off onto the ground, leaving us with a fine fibrous, you know, inner bark strands, which go for it, you know, enjoy doing it. So we want it as fine as we can, because obviously our ember from our charred material is going to go into this, so all we're doing is scrunching the hell out of it basically. Like so, pull it apart, don't be frightened, you know, twist it, wring its bloody neck as it were, really smash the hell out of it. Get rid of all them big outer bark pieces, and we want it nice and fine, fluffy and fibrous. I don't know if this will pick up in this terrible lighting, let me move your hands a little ways. But as you can see, that's taken on a nice fine fibrous texture already just for a couple of seconds of work there. Want it like dried moss, you know, finer the better. And that's what I'm going to place the embers into, blow it to flame. Yeah, stay with me. So hopefully, as you can see, I've got my bird's nest material, basically pine bark that I've just scrunched up just here. I've got some little fine kindling sticks, and these are sort of pencil size or less, you know, so I can get them straight on. And then obviously I've got my fuel, which are the bigger sticks, bigger logs, etc., that I'm going to build the fire with and create the heat, let that burn down into the coals, onto which I'll add my coffee pot, which, just as a footnote, bear with me, is one of these little fellas. So again, a little bit of a plug really, that bushcraft or survivalism or camping or whatever you want to call it, it doesn't have to be massively expensive. I think it's a stainless steel Chinese cheap pressed cup. This holds like a cup and a half. It's quite a big diameter, you know, it's a good old size cup. Poorly made, yes it is, very thin. It's got a little plastic handle, we'll see how that performs, but it's got a lid which for me is a big bonus when you're boiling water. And this was about 40p delivered. I brought about 5 of them together and it was about £1.50, something like that, with P&P. Doesn't have to be expensive, guys and lasses. And I'm going to be putting this directly over the heat, obviously using my gloves to take it off the heat, pouring the hot water with said steep coffee from my good mate Dave over at Humble Trekker into my Mad Dog cup and having a sample. So let's crack on with the fire lighting now anyway. Bit of a digression, but worth bearing in mind. Cheap stainless stuff, you know, you don't have to buy all the, I'm going to name names, branded, expert, rated stuff just to boil some water. It doesn't have to be that expensive. Stay with me. Okay, so I've got a bit of my homemade char cloth and a piece of flint here, and one of my homemade high carbon steel file strikers. I thought about doing a bit of an eBay shop item and selling these on eBay as a kit, you know, but with the weight of the flint and the steel, I'd actually be losing money. As you guys and lasses probably know, that all my stuff that I do sell on eBay, like the char cloth for example, if you work out how much it cost me in material, packaging, bags, P&P, eBay costs, PayPal costs, I'm making about 20p per item, something like that. And that 20p I throw in a jar. My missus will vouch for me on this. And when we go on holiday, we normally contribute the money that we make on eBay to something like the RLNI, you know, the Lifeboat Institute charity, or Help for Heroes, something like that. So it's really non-profit making, but it does encourage some young guys and lasses out there to try and have a go at what we do, this bushcraft thing. Hopefully it helps them learn and at least have a go. Well, if you've never tried this before, you know, why not? It's cheap and cheerful, go try it out. Anyway, I digress, let's try this. This is the homemade char cloth and striker. It's very windy tonight, so this probably won't go well, to be fair, but we'll give it a go. Oh, nearly. Let's try again. Okay, we'll keep trying, that's what we do. Yes, I'm in. Hope this is picking up. Get there in the end. I've got a bit of my jute twine netting and a bit more char cloth under here, so just transfer that across. And now we're going to get that coal into our bird's nest material. Still allowing it to breathe enough oxygen in there to transfer the heat in and not stifle it. And there we go, we've got flames. So I'm going to get that in the firelight. And straight away, get my kindling straight on that. He says. Okay. Not messing about here, so, and that's why it's always good to do your prep work. Always have everything ready, because like tonight it's very windy, everything's very wet, very damp, very sodden. We've had massive downpours of rain over here in the UK. Always do your prep before you make any fire. That would be my advice to you. So anyway, I'm going to let this establish. As you can see, it's got a hold now. So that's the fire done. Load it up with fuel and we'll come back and have a brew. Stay with me. Yeah. Okay, welcome back. So I've got the water on the boil now. So I say on the boil, on the heat. I've got some leather gloves here, some cheap ass leather gloves. They ain't expensive. And I've got my stainless steel mug on the go with the lid. Just a couple of minutes there. And I'll give it a couple of minutes more. I've put the lid on loose. I don't want it blowing off. So just to the side of the fire. I want my water to be hot, not quite a rolling boil. I know it's clean water, so I don't have to purify it. It doesn't have to be, you know, sanitised by boiling. I'm making coffee, so I just want it warm enough to make a good brew. I've got my trusty YouTube Mad Dog cup there that I'm going to hopefully enjoy this stuff in. And there we go. There's the coffee bag itself. I'm going to have a heap teaspoon of this into there when it's warm enough to do so. Let me just open this up and have a smell. Oh, crikey me, if that tastes as good as it smells. Oh, thank you, Dave. Oh yeah, baby, I'm looking forward to this. So before we get on to the actual coffee itself, and while the fire's doing its thing, this for me, this whole thing, this is a long ass video, right? Just to make a cup of coffee. It isn't about the end product, it isn't about drinking the cup of coffee, it's about the journey. It's about being outside, enjoying the night. I mean, it's a lovely night. Yes, it's windy, it has been raining earlier on. It's about chopping the wood to light my fire. It's about practicing and experiencing the skill of being able to light that fire using old traditional methods. Waiting for it, you know, waiting for everything to be at the right time, the right consistency, let's say, to do what you want to do. It's all a learning curve. It's about the journey, not the destination. Like everything with bushcraft or survival, it is about the journey, not the destination. So yes, it might be a long ass video about making a cup of coffee, but it isn't about that. It's about fire lay, the correct use of your fire wood, the correct way of lighting a fire, the correct way of boiling water if it's dirty, which I've not demonstrated here, but you know what I mean. It's about, like I say, the journey, not the destination. So anyway, I digress somewhat. So let's see whether this water's good enough yet. Right, it's just starting to get some bubbles in there and some steam, so I'm going to give it a minute more. So in between time, what I'm going to do, is get some of this bad boy and just drop it in there, just a spoonful. So pop that open, ready. Like I say, these gloves, they're only cheap ass leather sort of full truck driver's gloves. I think they're a couple of pounds, something like that, and they are proper leather, and I've had these a long time. They're good for outdoor use. Anyway, let's have a teaspoon of this, just a plastic. I've got a good heaped teaspoon of this, and it's called steep grind, so it's quite coarse. So I'm going to get that straight in there, give it a good old stirring. Oh, it smells fantastic already, crikey me. As soon as that stuff hits the water, oh, the smell is fantastic. If you're a coffee drinker, please go and get some of this stuff. I've not even tried it yet, crikey me. Go and get some of this, fantastic. Oh, crikey me. Oh, I hope it tastes half as good as it smells. I'm actually dribbling, that's coffee. Right, okay, lid back on. Glove on ish, and back on the heat, just semi on. I don't want it blowing off with the heat, so I'll cut back for the taste testing. Yeah, okay, here we go. Let's take that off. Oh yes, look at that. Oh, let's tap some of that off into our little. Let me just pan you down here a little ways. Excuse me again. Oh yeah, strain some of it off and get that straight in there. Oh yeah. Okay, let's have a go with this. Okay, let me pan you back up here. Oh yeah. Cheers everybody. And thank you for staying with me on this long ass video, just to basically do a cup of coffee. It's not about the coffee, it's about the journey. I hope this makes sense, I hope you appreciate that. And for those of you guys and lasses that know what I mean, thank you very much. I appreciate your support. Thank you very much. Take care everybody. Let's give it a try. Enough said, hey, enough said. Oh, crikey me. Oh, go get yourself some. Get yourself about 35 bags of this stuff. If you love coffee, you will love this stuff. Oh, yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Dave. Take care, everybody. Mad Dog signing off. Yeah.